Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh by Shem Shai, by Shem Kwadash. Double honor to the head elders, the apostles, the great millstone, as well as the bishops. Just real quick, prophecy update. MTA permanently ends cash transactions at subway booths. Okay? Cash is no longer king at the subway's token booths. Metropolitan Transportation Authority officials said Wednesday that booth workers who once handled thousands of cash and fare transactions each day will no longer accept riders' cash or swap their damaged Metro cards. Hand-to-hand transactions were banned at the booths in March 2020 as transit honchos feared they put workers at risk of catching COVID-19. Now officials say that shift will be made permanent. We currently do not plan to resume cash transactions in the booths, MTA Chief Safety Officer Pat Warren said during a news conference. Okay? Warren said Omni, the MTA's tap and pay fare system that will fully replace MetroCards by the end of 2023, means the authority will no longer need workers in booths to assist riders with cash transactions. Strap hangers can still use cash to pay for MetroCards at automated vending machines and subway stations. The vending machines will eventually be replaced with Omni machines that also take cash. Token booth, so you see they completely phased out cash in the booths. So they're showing us that this technocracy is being implemented. All right. Token booth workers will also no longer swap out Metro cards that are damaged or expired. MTA officials said riders with damaged Metro cards will have to mail them in or go to the agency's customer service center in Lower Manhattan to get replacements. Now, who's going to do that? Especially when you got things to do. All right? Transportation, Transport Workers Union Local 100, President Tony Itano, who represents a majority of the MTA's workforce, said the agency has resumed cash transactions at the commuter railroad stations and should do the same in the subways. Not having cash transactions at subway booths is an inconvenience and an insult to subway riders, said Itano. Station agents alert the police on behalf of crime victims, summon ambulances for injured and sick riders, and report suspicious, menacing, and dangerous behavior. Token booth workers will have far fewer responsibilities in the absence of cash, transactions, and MetroCard services. See, they're phasing out this whole system. All right. Union work rules require the workers to stay inside the booths for the duration of their shifts, a regulation put in place before the arrival of the MetroCard in the mid-1990s when the booths housed stacks of cash and valuable subway tokens. Andrew Albert, the rider advocate on the MTA board, and transit officials should consider expanding the role of the booth workers to monitor the entirety of subway stations. I would not mind seeing them coming out of the booths to take a gaze up and down the platforms, call the police when something happens, said Albert. They could provide directions. It would add to the safety of the system. The token booths jobs became obsolete 30 years ago with the arrival of the MetroCard. The MTA has for decades chipped away at the token booth positions. Most of the city's 472 subway stations now have just one booth with an attendant, a far cry from the pre-MetroCard era, when clerks would staff booths at nearly every set of turnstiles. See? MTA officials in 2010 laid off roughly 250 token booth clerks to plug a budget gap opened up by the Great Recession. A reorganization of the MTA mandated in 2019 by the legislature and Governor Cuomo also led to thousands of job cuts through attrition, including at least 230 jobs on the subway stations, records show. Transit honchos last year attempted to cut 150 lunch relief positions held by workers who fill in at token booths while their colleagues take 30-minute breaks, but a Manhattan Supreme Court judge in January said the agency could not move forward with the cuts without lengthy public hearings. MTA officials on Wednesday said they now have no plans to cut the lunch relief or other token booths jobs. Alright, so that's just a prophecy update. We know what Revelation 13, 16 through 18 says. All praises to Yahweh Shem Shai. This is what's coming. This is phasing. The cash is no longer king at Subway booths in New York. MTA permanently ends cash transactions at Subway booths. Okay? So there we have it.